Masonry is a common way to build buildings that is used all over the world. Masonry can be used to build almost anything inside or outside, from a single wall to a whole house. Masonry is a strong and reliable way to build structures, and the results are often beautiful and pleasing to the eye. In this video, we talk about what masonry is, the truth behind it, its pros and cons, and the different ways it can be used to build things. What does masonry mean? The answer to the question, what is masonry, is that it is a way to build things by using mortar to hold brick, stone, and concrete blocks together. Mortar is a mixture of water, sand, and cement that holds the pieces of masonry together. It comes in many different strengths and types. Masonry buildings are strong, attractive, and last for a long time. Masonry was used to build many historic buildings that are still standing today. Masonry techniques can be used to build many different kinds of buildings, including single-family homes, apartment buildings with multiple floors, and public buildings like universities, courthouses, schools, and libraries. You could use masonry skills to build a wall path or patio in your garden. Masonry can be used inside the house as well. You could use it to make a feature wall or a fireplace that stands out. For many masonry jobs, heavy materials and specialized tools and equipment are needed. Because of this, most masonry work is done by trained and skilled professionals. Types of masonry. During building projects, it can be helpful to know the difference between the two main types of masonry, veneer and solid. Here's an example of each. Brickwork with a veneer. The process of putting bricks or stones on the outside of another building is called veneer masonry. For example, to make a brick surface, you could glue thin pieces of brick to the outside of an existing wall. This looks like it's made of stone, but it's cheaper to build. Most of the time, veneer masonry is used for looks. The base is made up of the structure underneath. Masonry that stands up. Solid stonework can stand on its own and is self-contained. It doesn't need anything to hold it up underneath. A solid masonry wall is made up of nothing but stone or brick. Most of the time, this type of masonry is stronger and lasts longer than veneer masonry. Benefits of stonework. Masonry is a good way to build buildings and structures for many reasons. Here are just a few. Because masonry materials are not flammable, they can be used to make buildings that are safer and less likely to catch fire. Resistant. Materials made of masonry are very resistant to mold and rot and last longer. Attractive. Masonry is often used to make grand, elegant, and spectacular buildings because it can be made in so many different colors and textures. Masonry buildings are strong, durable, and can stand up to hot sun, strong winds, and cold temperatures. Energy efficient. Masonry materials like brick and stone increase a building's thermal mass, which makes it easier to control the temperature inside and more energy efficient. Quiet. Masonry materials are naturally thick and dense, so they can block and absorb noise. This means that the insides of buildings made of masonry are quiet and peaceful. Masonry homes are popular with buyers, and masonry features can increase the value of a home when it comes time to sell. The bad things about masonry. Masonry has a few bad points. Here are just a few. Masonry is a job that requires a lot of hard work and usually needs the help of skilled professionals. Pricey. Masonry can be more expensive than other types of building because it takes more work. Heavy. Some of the materials used in masonry are heavy and stiff, which makes it hard to move them in regular cars and vans. Masonry materials can crack and break, so they may need to be fixed every so often. Stable foundations are needed. If you build a masonry structure on unstable foundations or on a surface that moves, the masonry will eventually crack and need to be fixed. Depending on the weather, masonry work can't be done when it's too wet or too cold, because rain and freezing temperatures can damage the mortar. Common building materials. The most common masonry materials are bricks, stones, and concrete blocks. The material you choose depends on your personal taste and preferences, your budget, and whether your masonry structure will be inside or outside. Let's look at each of these materials and talk about their pros and cons. Brick. Brick is the most common type of building material used in masonry. Bricks are durable, look good, and can last for a long time. Bricks can be used to build both modern and traditional walls, buildings, chimneys, and other masonry structures. Bricks are better than other materials for building walls because they are lighter, easier to handle and move, and less expensive. Brick walls are thinner than stone or concrete walls, so it's easy to leave spaces for doors and windows when building with it because they are all the same size and shape. Bricks are pretty easy to lay. Bricks are strong, but they don't last as long as blocks made of stone or concrete. A brick building can be made stronger by laying the bricks in a serpentine pattern, which is a zigzag pattern that doesn't go in a straight line. When only 1 or 2 bricks need to be replaced in a building, it can be hard to find an exact match because bricks can be made of different things. People often use bricks to build things inside their homes, like fireplaces. Stone is the most durable and weather-resistant building material. It's a great option for public buildings that get a lot of people every day. Stone is easy to take care of and comes in many different shapes, sizes, and colors. There are 2 different kinds of stones. Dressed stone is smooth and comes in the shape you want. Undressed stone, on the other hand, is rougher and looks more real and natural. Stone walls are thick and heavy, and they can take up a lot of space on the floor. Stonemasonry is a craft that takes a lot of time. Because it is hard to change or move, skilled stonemasons must carefully put it in place. A lot of concrete blocks. Concrete blocks are a very common and versatile building material. They come in many different sizes, finishes, and colors, and individual blocks can often be made to fit the needs of a specific project. Bricks and concrete are both laid in the same way. Because they are bigger, concrete blocks are easier and faster to put together. Concrete blocks can be used to build homes, schools, and business buildings, among other things. Large blocks of concrete are heavy and hard to move. They also make it harder to fix problems with the plumbing. For example, if a leaking pipe is covered by concrete, the concrete may need to be cut open to get to the pipe. This will make the repair cost more. Over time, water can damage and eat away at concrete, so if you use it, you need a good drainage system. Fixing up masonry. Even though masonry buildings are strong and last a long time, they will eventually need to be fixed. Some repairs are small and not hard to do. For example, small chips and cracks in masonry can be fixed with caulk, which is a common filler used in the construction industry. If the damage is bad, a piece of masonry may need to be taken down and replaced. A common problem is that the mortar that holds the bricks together starts to fall apart. When this happens, the old mortar needs to be taken out and put back. Fixing up masonry. The process of restoring masonry is more complicated than making a simple repair. Often, it involves older buildings where the brickwork has been damaged and needs to be replaced completely. Masonry restoration needs to be done by skilled professionals who can make sure that the new masonry materials match the building's original look and are true to its history. For example, if you want to fix up a Georgian building, you must use Georgian brick and do the work in the style of the late 17th and early 18th centuries. Masonry restoration can involve cleaning, resealing, or replacing the bricks, as well as rebuilding the whole building. How much work needs to be done depends on how old the building is, how bad the damage is, and how strong the original building was. Most buildings made of stone need to be fixed up every few years to make them last longer and keep them looking nice. Thanks for watching this video. Please make sure to hit like and subscribe to this channel for more interesting information.